Good afternoon, friends. It's Matt here with Driver Studio. I'm in the lab tonight working on the two-wheel drive K5 project. Man, this is crazy. We've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks away from the May 7th Northwest C10 show in beautiful Enumclaw, Washington. And this is where we at. So check this thing out. As you can see, tailgate pretty much is untouched. Quarter panel needs a lot of finish work. Door needs finish work. Got to get going on this fender. Got to get some cleaning up going. Passenger side quarter. Yep, needs some love. Passenger side door, passenger side fender. Actually happier with this side. It actually lines up better. You know, these K5s, man, it's tough getting them to line up, especially when they're full vert. This one was super rusty back in the day. Getting everything to line up on it's been kind of a bear. Sneaky peeky of the engine setup. Nothing crazy. Just a nice, clean little small block Chev. We're gonna jump in on this right now. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna try to remove this old vinyl wrap on here, the flapper wheel. I've never taken vinyl wrap off this old kind of vinyl wrap. This is definitely old brittle stuff that's probably very, very stuck to the surface. So we're gonna see how this does, and then we'll come back and we'll feather it all out with 80 grit, clean it up, and move forward. Wish me luck. All right, that went pretty well. I'm really happy with how that worked out. That was actually a 27 grit flapper wheel, just a good old cheap flapper wheel from Harbor Freight on my electric grinder. As you can see, it's a relatively aggressive method, but you know, the trick really that I found for when I'm using a flapper wheel is once you get to the metal, just move away. You're gonna end up coming back over it with your sander, whether you're using 80 grit, 180 grit, 220 grit, you're gonna get a lot of the scratches out, and then you have to also think about the further steps that you're gonna be taking. Are you gonna be sanding priming it? You're gonna be blocking it out, guide cutting it. You'll be able to see imperfections. The main thing is not to keep your flapper wheel on the surface too long. You definitely don't wanna remove any of the metal surface. It's difficult to do that. I'm just simply saying that you don't want to thin your metal out. If you were to hit this in a section with a grinder, it's gonna do it a lot quicker, obviously, but in theory, it's the same exact thing. It's just less aggressive. If you have that flapper wheel on a section too long, it's gonna get hot, it's gonna stretch, you're gonna take surface material off, it's gonna turn into an oil can. You're gonna have that punk, 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 back and forth metal action, which you don't want. If you can go out and work on your project car a little bit at a time, a few times a week, you'd be amazed by how much you're actually going to achieve just by putting in a little bit of time and dedication, a little bit of effort. And as you go, you'll learn, you'll feel more confident. Next thing you know, you'll have a project car done. Something to think about and keep in mind. Now, what I'm using to go over the top of those grinding marks, that flapper wheel mark, is 80 grit sandpaper. We're trying to basically smooth out the metal a little bit more before we go on to the next step. I'm gonna try to get this thing, get a couple spots in sanding prime. Not sanding prime the whole truck, just trying to do some minor stuff. So that way, tomorrow, hopefully, I can shoot the white, which is the insert color. So it's just a small section. It's from here down to here. Don't kill yourself forever trying to nitpick your own ride, because if you do that, it's gonna take you forever. And I think that's what holds back a lot of people who are building a project car, is they get concerned that if they don't fix every single little tiny thing, holds them back a lot, and they end up wasting a bunch of time not being able to enjoy their ride. I can already feel this. It's pretty rough, but we gotta hit it with the block. You can't just DA everything down. Now we got our mud thoroughly mixed. You wanna make sure that's thoroughly mixed, color changes. You wanna get this on there. Just don't be scared. Get that up in there. Get that up in there. Start to let it work for you. Remember, like I said, you're going to be sanding probably a good 75% of this off. Just so you can kind of see what your whole area is looking like. So one of the things I like to do whenever I'm working with my mud, when I get done spreading the mud, I take a piece of maroon Scotch-Brite and I clean my mud spreader, Bondo spreader, squeegee, whatever you want to call it. Sorry. I like to clean it with Scotch-Brite. Yes, I cleaned both of them. I set that right. Sorry about that. Take this. I'm gonna wipe this guy off, so that way it's nice and clean and smooth for the next time. Get that nice and clean. So right there, dry this one off. Now, I'm gonna do the same thing to my board. Now all my board is a chunk of scrap metal from an old fender. And I'm dipping my Scotch-Brite into a little cup of lacquer thinner. Cool. So now my board is nice and clean, ready for next time. All right, so now while the mud is curing up, gassing off, drying up a little bit, before we cut it down, we're gonna jump back over to that guide coat. We're gonna knock some of that down. Make sure the wire bristles in my brush are clean, so I hit it with a little bit of brake clean. All right, we are back out here. So now the rig is sanding primed. I apologize for the photos beforehand. My camera went dead. So I hope y'all got to see enough of the prep progress. So now this is a really imperative part, just for the simple fact that it helps you see so much more stuff. When you do your body work, when you're all done with it, before you get down and start spraying your color, help yourself out and hit it with some sanding primer. Sanding primer is not a lot of money. It's going to greatly increase your chances of having a halfway decent looking paint job on the cheap. So what I'm gonna do here now is I'm gonna hit this with a little bit of 220 just to see if it powders up. That'll let me know if it's dry enough. Powdered up pretty well. It appears to not be balling up in my sandpaper, so I think what I can do is I can get a block and I can start sanding this. One of the things before you start knocking your stuff down, and by the way, using a soft block, it's a small block, definitely got to be careful because you don't want to have any sand scratches or gouges, so, you know, use your better judgment on how confident you are in your skill set with sanding. But I'm using a soft block. I'll be dry sanding this instead of wet sanding this. You could set this soft block into a bucket of water with some wet or dry sandpaper. This is just dry sandpaper, it's what I have. And it's 220. A lot of people would knock this stuff down with like 400. I'm pretty confident with the material that I use that it's gonna hide sand scratches up to 220. No problem. I'll probably even do 150, 180. It's great stuff. I'm gonna be doing multiple steps. Sealer, color, a clear coat tinted, and then a clear coat over the top. So I'm sure everything will bury. And then as time goes on, once it gasses out, I'll be cutting that stuff down and buffing it. So I'll be hiding a lot of sins. But one of the big things you want to do is like we did with our body work before in this video, we're going to be doing some guide coat. This is really going to help us see all those imperfections. We're going to try to knock them all down. So now this was the dent that we worked on before. Real happy with that. I like it. That's gonna look great. Now the thing that's nice is since we're only doing this white center section, we're gonna put color all the way to here. So if I do have any more issues right in there, where that dent was, we'll be able to see them in the finished product of the white and we'll be able to knock that down and kind of clean it up. Crossfire, Napa, CS293. Cheap, works great. Love it. All right, we're gonna see if this is working now. Let's, okay, we're back. Had to wipe off the lens there a little bit. Hopefully the camera's gonna stay working here for a minute. Been having some issues. I apologize for having issues during sanding primer as well as sealer. But anyways, now to recap, sanding primer is done. Everything's been blocked out. Guide coated, boom, boom, boom. We are now in sealer. I think that is the CS293. And as you can see, it's just through that mid section because we're just getting set up for the stripe. Come around here. Yeah, I'm super happy with it. So now I'm getting loaded up so I can shoot the white. Hopefully we don't have any camera issues and y'all can ride along for this whole entire part of the journey. Wish me luck. Here we go. I am shooting, my white is Imron Elite base. So it's L0006 EB, Imron Elite from Exalta, DuPont, whatever you want to call it. I'm using it because it's what I got lying around. Yes, I'm literally going in one day. Same gun, 1.3 tip, sanding primer, sealer, color, clear, and clear. Yay! On to the first coat of clear. Let's have some fun and mix up some pearl with some flake, huh? right, y'all. So I'm wrapping it up now. That's it. We're done. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Getting this K5 done. That's prep and paint for the white on the full vert 73 two-wheel drive conversion Blazer. It's a labor of love, y'all. But we got some more left to do. Please subscribe below. Follow us for more. And y'all see how it turns out here in the next week and a half, 2 weeks. We'll keep y'all posted with the new vids, and fingers crossed that we make it for the Northwest C10 show May 7th in beautiful Enumclaw, Washington. We will see y'all next time. We appreciate y'all. Driver Studio, out.